It's amazing. This monumental occasion. No one is in the queue waiting in the chat. It's Monday morning, Monday evening. Ugh. It's Monday evening. It's Monday morning somewhere, but here it's Monday evening. Uh, Welcome to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, Flawed Man of God, welcoming you to yet another episode, but the first episode with over 500 subscribers to the channel. So, boom, there's that. And that's an awesome thing to have and to experience. I know I don't get 500 views or anywhere close to that an episode, but just the fact that there's 500 folks out there who are, you know, hopefully getting updates from YouTube that I should be uh, that I'm streaming or that I've posted a video or something. Hopefully that can get some more attention. But I'm very excited about that. Also, big shout out to friend of the show and friend of some of ours, Blaine's Escape Corner. He has been monetized, and to some degree. Hopefully, he's back from Japan, or he's still in Japan, or whatever. But whatever he's doing, hopefully it's safely. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. I am a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm trying to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Been a Christian all my life. 40 years, non-denominational Protestant. Don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the word daily, trying to get it done better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you hear me, if you see me streaming, if you hear what I have to say, it's going to be my honest opinions, my honest takes on whatever it is we're talking about. So if you are somebody who is interested in learning about God, you're not a Christian, but maybe you're searching for something and you need answers. Maybe keeps you up at night. Maybe there's a small voice in the back of your mind wondering if there's more to your existence than just your life here on earth. Welcome to the show. If that's you, welcome to the show. Um, Maybe you are looking for something other than some big, high budget professional uh, stream with some superior intellect talking to you about what you should believe and why the Bible makes sense, but it comes off as overproduced, maybe a little inauthentic. Not saying it is, but maybe that's just the flavor it gives off. Maybe you don't want to hear it from the man on the pulpit preaching because you think that there is an ulterior motive there. Or maybe you just had a bad church experience in the past. Who knows? Maybe you just want to hear it from the guy sitting in the pew right next to you, someone who's uh, more of an everyday figure, someone who's more relatable, and maybe this will be in an environment that's comfortable, relaxed, informal. Well, that's what you're going to get when you get here. Amateur. It's going to be amateur. It's going to be laity. It's just going to be the layman person talking to you. And it's going to be honest. It's going to be honest. It's going to be relaxed. It's going to be informal. This is a very informal setting. It's a very informal place for you to be. And hopefully what you hear here on this show will help launch you into a good, healthy relationship with God, and that would be amazing for me. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. Glad to have you here. You'll find that we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. No matter where you land in your faith, whether you don't have any faith right now and you're just realize there's a stuffed animal in the background. Um, whether you don't have any faith and you're looking for some place to put it, or maybe you are way more mature in your faith than I am, way more knowledgeable in Scripture. I encourage you, get in the chat, be part of the conversation, be part of the show. Chat is awesome. You'll find we have a group of regular folks who tune in and night out and do a great job adding flavor, adding content, adding context to whatever it is we're talking about. And I would like for that to be you. So come in there, get your 2 cents worth in. Tell me what you agree with me on. Tell me what you disagree with me on. Tell me about your experiences, your interpretation, your whatever it is we're talking about, how it hits you. Put your opinion out there. It's going to get read on this show. We are a small enough community, even with 500 subs, big time now. Even with 500 subs, we still have a very small nightly community tuning in. And again, I'd love you to be part of it, and it makes the show that much better. So help me put together a better product. And with that said, welcome everybody. Sorry that we didn't stream all that much last week. We did a good stream. I feel like it was widely well received. My Facebook likes were higher than most any others I've had on the sermon on the family unit. I got a fair amount of YouTube views on it, and it felt good doing it. So we'll definitely do something like that again. The next time I get a really strong message on a really good topic, we'll do something like that again. I talked to Mr. E.L. Jones on Sunday. He said that he was catching up he had caught one of my episodes. He thought that it's always interesting to hear people review Psalms. I have no soccer updates. There's no more soccer, at least for the time being. We'll see where we go from here, whether it'll be some soccer in the winter or some soccer in the spring, but there'll definitely be some in the future. Family's doing well. What else? Yeah. Oh, went ahead and bought myself a Series X. That's fun. Got Starfield, been playing through Starfield, and I'm enjoying it so far. Enjoying Starfield, and not much else to add to that. Welcome, Alias. Thank you for the congrats. Thank you for the congrats, Matt. And Psalms 3 and 4 was a great stream as well. Thank you. I thought that the Psalms 1 and 2 stream was really good. I really liked Psalms 1 and 2. Psalms 5 and 6 are what we're going to cover tonight. And as I was just skimming through them, they really come across as prayers. Set to music, as I put in the description. One of the things that we do see when we're going through Kings, going through Samuel, is a lot of these prayers seem like they're put to music. There's like some poetry to them. Now, look, you weebs out here will understand this. You can't translate the Japanese intro music um, lyrics for your favorite anime into English and make it sound or make it rhyme. You just translate what it says. And that's what we're getting here. But while it doesn't rhyme and maybe it doesn't flow like poetry or music does, um, it's still beautiful. And you can see uh, that David certainly had a talent for honoring the Lord. And look, some singular human beings out there: Abraham, Noah, Adam, going backwards in time, David, Moses, might put Daniel in there, Solomon. Solomon's a little bit of a chip off the old David block, but in many ways he was different. But David was a man after God's own heart, and so there's a lot to take away from that. A lot of folks today in today's environment want to focus on David's infidelity with Bathsheba. Your more progressive, virtue signaling Christians will like to point out or like to invent the idea that he raped Bathsheba, that there was some sort of power dynamic there, that he took advantage of things. Let's not invent sins on someone who did so much good in their life when there are plenty of the lessons to be learned from the sins that we do know that he committed. But as much as we learn from his mistakes, which are actually very few, David's mistakes are few enough to let us understand that he is just a man. But though David's mistakes are few, we learn a lot from what made him great in the first place. This is absolute faith in the Lord. When he was a Ute going up against Goliath, when he was out on the run from Saul, many times during David's life, he makes it very clear how much he trusts and loves and honors and respects God. And in his Psalms, he does that. He does that. It's like this guy knew how to pray, right? Pray in style. And we're going to get into that a little bit more tonight. So without further ado, this might be a short stream. We'll see. We'll see what we get into. We're going to get into Psalm 5 for the for the director of music for pipes, a psalm of David. Be interested to hear these. Listen to my words, Lord. Consider my lament. Hear my cry for help, my King and my God, for to you I pray. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. For you are not a God who is pleased with wickedness. With you, evil people are not welcome. The arrogant cannot stand in your presence. You hate all who do wrong. You destroy those who tell lies. The bloodthirsty and deceitful you, Lord, detest. But I, by your great love, can come into your house in reverence. I bow down toward your holy temple. Lead me, Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. Not a word from their mouth can be trusted. Their heart is filled with malice. Their throat is an open grave. With their tongues they tell lies. Declare them guilty, O God. Let their intrigues be their downfall. Banish them for their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you be glad. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may rejoice in you. Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. David does something here that oftentimes goes through my mind in prayer. What's going on, Dresden? Often goes through my mind in prayer. Who am I praying for? I don't like, I'll do it, but I don't really enjoy praying, asking for things for myself. Things that will improve my station. I've said this before on this show. I feel like I've lived an incredibly blessed life. I don't have a massive fortune. I don't I'm not in charge of, some big corporation. I'm not famous in any way. Not some decorated war hero. Um, but I have the things that I want. The things that hit closest to me, to my heart. The things that I really want. Like, it'd be really nice to have a Ferrari F40, you know, or a 911 turbo. I'd love to have lots of things. But when you tell me what do I really want, I've got stability, I've got love, I've got supportive family, friends, things that I didn't feel like I had a lot of growing up, especially on the friends side. I've got wonderful kids. Um, I've got a nice house, plenty of space, got lots of memories, good memories, and my kids are blessed. There's not really anything that I I feel selfish asking for things. And I've often felt selfish asking for things in prayer, even before, I had kids or before I got married, because I've always been, um, I've always had more than most of the world has had. And I grew up knowing God. So when I pray, it's oftentimes to for other people and other people who are going through difficult things. That's who needs my prayers. I need to pray. I need prayers. Obviously, there are. I'm not a perfect person. There are things I need to improve on, and I do ask for God's hand in helping me out and figuring out how to be a better person. But I know there's other people who are dealing with harsh circumstances, not necessarily always a financial one or a physical one or a mental one. But I feel for those folks. If any of you guys are going through this kind of um, that kind of ordeal, I want you to get help. I want the Lord to look out for you more so. And that's what I pray for. I pray for more people every day to discover God, to reach out and take what he's offered to us. To grow in their faith, to put down their vices and their sins and get saved. Get into heaven so that we can all, or as many of us as possible, and through God all things are possible. As many of us as possible make it to heaven. A soul cast away from God, no matter what, however you want to define hell, whether it's the absence of God and just if it's annihilation or if it's hell, fiery torture for all eternity. It's a sad, pitiful thing for a soul to experience that. But there are some people who just want that in their lives. They want that to be their identity. And I'm not here to tell you that person, this person specifically does. But we've seemingly seen this from folks who want to just who run towards the wrong thing. And I'm not talking about addiction, right? I'm not talking about desperation. I'm people who like the literally who might be in my situation and say, I want to use my station to hurt other people for no reason other than the fact that I enjoy it. I know those folks are out there. And so here we go. Because of my enemies, make your way straight before me. Their heart is filled with malice, their throat is an open grave, with their tongues they tell lies. Declare them guilty, O God. And here we go. Let their intrigues be their downfall. Banish them for their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. But the most important part is here. But let all who take refuge in you be glad. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may rejoice in you. Sort them out, Lord. Sort out the souls. Punish the guilty. Reward the righteous. And that's a tough one. It's where do I land on that? Am I a good guy or my bad guy? I think generally good. Believe in God. I want to do what is right by him. I desire it, but I still slip up. I still sin. And I know better. So what does that make me? Difficult to say, in my opinion. I don't ever want to presume that I've done enough. And I don't know whether that's healthy or not. I'm not sure. And that's one of the reasons why I want my kids to be better than me. So, but that's what I really like about what David's doing. He's not talking about anybody in particular. Anybody who is reaching out to you, God, please reward them. And anybody who is standing as a barrier to your will, dude, just dismiss them. Banish them. Let their own sins be their downfall. Their intrigues be their downfall. All the planning, all the scheming, all of that. It's a good psalm. He does it in a very good way, a very um stylish way. Here's the next one. Psalm 6 for the director of music with stringed instruments, according to the Sheminith, a psalm of David. Sheminith, the footnote on that says probably a musical term. Probably. Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your wrath. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord? How long? Turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I don't understand that passage. I am worn out from my groaning. All night long I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all of my foes. Away from me, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be overwhelmed with shame and anguish. They will turn back and suddenly be put to shame. I think David uses his status to get at people who are after him. Now, granted, David's doing the Lord's work, people standing in his way. His enemies are enemies of God as well. But it's just kind of funny. You always see David go, get my enemies, O Lord. Go get them. But I'm not going to focus on that. We'll focus on this at the beginning. Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your wrath. If you are angry with me because of the stupid things I do in life, the things you tell me not to do, but I do anyway, knowingly or unknowingly, it's still ignorant. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I'm faint. I'm faint. Alias says I have this verse highlighted. This page is worn. This is a good one. Like I said, Psalms are full of bangers right here. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I'm faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. I know that I'm broken. I know that I do stupid things. I know I make poor choices. Please don't destroy me because of that. Have mercy on me because I'm weak. Heal me. Why? Because you're infested with sin? My soul is in deep anguish. That guilt we feel when we know we're doing the wrong thing, kind of feel stuck. How do I get out of this cycle? I'm going to stop doing this starting tomorrow morning. You say it as you're going to bed. And you say the same thing about the same sin every night as you're going to bed. And you know it, and you know it's the and you realize what you're doing, and you can't stop this cycle. My soul is in deep anguish. Turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead, among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I don't understand the second part. Does it have to do with folks who are truly dead, not just physically dead, but dead because they didn't believe they weren't the righteous, they were the chaff? Or is it among the grave that is, look, the dead are gone from our experiences and they're not proclaiming your name. That is up to us to do. I have no idea if it means either of those possibilities or neither. But the part above that, turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Starting now. Okay, starting now. No, starting now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And look, I find myself in that same place. ESV uses Sheol, the underworld, which means probably Amplified probably use it too. So maybe those who are dead and unrighteous, maybe the wicked, maybe the enemies of the Lord. Not sure. I am worn out from my groaning. All night long I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow, and they fail because of all my foes. Going back to that earlier part I was talking about, and then Alias was starting now. Okay, starting now. How many of you guys feel like that? And to you guys new to Christianity, this is not a cycle of misery that consumes your entire day, your entire being. And maybe it should, would be better, but that's not. If you read the Bible, God enjoys seeing his people joyous and joyful. But that's joyful in what is wholesome and right and good. It is not wholesome. It is not joyful and I get to do whatever the heck I want. Jesus will accept me however I am. That's my crutch. That's just the way I am. God made me. He knows what I do. He knows why I suffer from X, right? Whatever the heck it is that you're suffering from. That's not the joyful that he takes delight in. He doesn't want to see us sorrowful and weepy, especially men. What's David doing here? Talking about crying. If you really understand the weight of your actions and what it does and how it saddens God to see you do it, maybe even men are allowed to cry about it when they're talking about the creator, when they are in communion with the Lord and you're overwhelmed with guilt. Guilt exists. So I said somebody tried it was pastor at my church. Shame is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It feels bad. It's not supposed to feel good. If it doesn't if the reason we feel shame is because we've done something wrong. And we feel that and it's awful, right? My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all my foes. That's what it's like, guys. We know we're better than this. We know we're better than the sinners that we are. We should constantly be striving for it. What's going on, Texan? Italian? We should all be struggling. We should all be striving to be better, to walk that path close to Christ. And for those of you, like I said, who are new to Christianity or just seeking it out, if you think that that's all there is to it is condemnation and guilt, you're wrong. Because we also have grace. And we should feel bad about the bad things that we do, but we should also feel hopeful that if we are truly sorry and repentant of it, There's grace. There's grace to be had. Boundless, limitless amounts of grace. But that doesn't mean that if it's offered to you that you're going to take it. I want you to take it. Everybody in this chat wants you to take it. Christian, non-Christian alike. We're not Christian yet. Throw it down. Throw down the thing that makes you weep in bed at night. Derek Prince would categorize manipulation as witchcraft. Shame is manipulation, moving unconscious. What is placed in the heart, that's another thing altogether. I think that shame from other people can be manipulative. But what about shame that you feel yourself? Can you am I going to get philosophical and say and ask the question or discuss, can you manipulate yourself? Is that kind of like faking it till you make it? I don't know. Um, Shame, the reason why I think shame is good is because you don't want to go back to it. And it depends on where that shame is coming from. Is that shame coming from a place of the world where you should feel shame for whatever the world decides is right or wrong for itself? Or do you feel shame because you did something that you shouldn't have compared to, with when laid against uh God's expectations for us? That shame, I think, is good because you don't want, if you truly feel it, you don't want to go back there. You don't want to feel shameful again in that context. Shame is a beating on your soul. I'm not gonna fight that fight against that sin again. I'm gonna leave that sin behind me, so I don't have to consistently feel this feeling all the way. Shame has negative connotations. Then that's because it's a negative feeling, and sometimes it's not earned, right? There's a lot of things the world would shame you for that are not only perfectly in line with Christianity, but things that God actually encourages us to do. That shame is wrong. That shame is wrong. And in that case, I do agree with you, Matt. It is manipulation. And people have used that shame and that to manipulate people into the society that we have today. In the context of coming from the pulpit, so talk off of witchcraft in the church. It'd be interesting. Witchcraft in the church. Be interesting to get to hear that and then listen to that with Catholic and an Orthodox Christian to see what they think. Because there's ritual, there's practice, there's tradition that's in those two. There's burning of incense. Um, that is very foreign and different for us. But if it's coming from the pulpit, if it's coming from scripture and the pulpit is just the medium in which it's coming through, I still think it's good. But again, with shame, it's the salt, it's the sweet and the salty together again. You can't bring it from the pulpit without reminding everyone of grace. And you can't talk about grace without reminding that you have sin that you should feel shame over and drive you to repentance. The guilt is what's supposed to get washed away. Shame is just the feeling in the moment. Anyone I know that we've got folks who probably struggle with porn. It's a very common affliction on all men, Christian and non-Christian. You feel that shame when you start typing in the URL to whatever site you're going to? What about afterwards? What about immediately after the fact? It's a dangerous place to be. But maybe feeling that shame will be a method in which be something you can use to not do it anymore. Alias says, and I thank him that he is slow to wrath and has so much mercy and grace. If he didn't, we would all be in trouble, Alias. In other contexts, Matthew, there are sermons that you can find out there with pastors who are trying to shame people who aren't wearing masks or don't want to be vaccinated. Eric Rollon and I actually did a topic where crap wasn't David French. It was Tim Keller and one of his buddies talking about how there needs to be some coming down on people. Look, if your pastor is trying to make you feel bad for something that God doesn't have God is maybe silent on, or God might approve of and they just don't like it, he just doesn't like it, get a new church. You don't need you don't need a pastor with an agenda poisoning your brain, I promise you. Anyway, I like that angle, Matt. I'm glad you brought that up. And maybe we disagree on that. Maybe we disagree on that, Matt, but that's fine. I still think you're awesome. Hopefully you feel the same with me. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. About 45 minutes on this. That's not bad. These were very short psalms. What we got coming up? We got some long psalms. Nope. Very similar. We'll see how it works. All right, guys. To Matt Felty, alias, Texan Italian, Dresden. Glad to have you here. Glad to have your comments. Like I said, add something to the show. That's probably an extra 15 minutes that you alias you and Matt worked on or brought up. That's awesome. That's great. All right, folks. That Celty said, shame to manipulate is control. Okay. I don't think we disagree, brother. No, I think we're on the same page. And maybe it's a semantic thing between us on this. I think core concept we get it. Um And we're probably yeah, that's always good. All right, so Matt Felty, alias Texan Italian. I already did this right. Dresden. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for what you do. Thank you for coming in day in and day out and just being you guys. Right. Never settle for just being you. Always try to be better, a better you, and not just you. But thank you guys for being here. And to everybody who has just been wallflowers listening in, either you can, or either you won't, or you can't be part of the chat. That's fine. It's fine. I'm just glad I've got content that you guys come in and listen to. Again, you probably hear me say the same thing at the end of every stream that you've listened to. And same thing with those of those of you guys catching this show on the replay. Really appreciate it. Really glad that it's worth you guys listening to. Hope to catch you live sometime. Talk to you guys tomorrow night when we stream. And in the meantime, good night and God bless.